Here we are on page 2 of the buyer agency agreement contract, and we're still on the compensation of the firm, and we're on segment 3. And it says, if having entered into an enforceable contract to acquire property during the term of this agreement, the buyer defaults under the terms of that contract. Okay, we have earned a compensation if you enter into an enforceable contract to acquire property during the term of this agreement. Part D of compensation, the compensation will be due and payable at closing or upon buyer's default of any purchase agreement. So basically what that line is saying is, hey, if you default on purchasing the property, and it's not is a default that that was avoidable, then you still owe the firm the minimum, which is $3,000. Okay, so say you're already, and we've already set everything up for you to purchase the home, and then all of a sudden something strikes your heart, say, you know what, I don't want to buy, and we've set you up, and you were in a contract. Let's put it like that. You're in a contract to purchase. Your credit's good, everything's good, and then you just say, oh, I don't want to buy. Then guess what? You still owe the firm $3,000. Okay? So make sure that when you get into this, that you really want to purchase a house. And it is really one of the best decisions I believe you can make. Okay? It says over here, if the buyer defaults, the total compensation that would have been due to the firm will be due and payable immediately in cash from the buyer. So this is very serious. And I'm going to give you this one last notice right here. Buyer understands and acknowledges that there is a potential for a conflict of interest generated by a percentage of price-based fee for representing the buyer. So basically, is that we're notifying you that there is a conflict of interest. We want to be free to you. Okay, so because we want to be free to you, we want you to purchase over $100,000. We don't want you to have to come out of your own pocket. That is the conflict of interest that we have. It doesn't mean that we will stop you or try to stop you from purchasing or try to persuade you not to purchase anything over or under $100,000. It just means that there is a conflict because we want to be free to you. But it says here, but the amount, format, or rate of real estate commission is not fixed by law, but is set by each broker individually and may be negotiable between buyer and firm. Now, here at McGarry and Associates, our rates are even though everything is negotiable, we don't negotiate on that rate. That is set by Mr. Lester McGarry, and he is firm on that. So we do not negotiate or come down on our percentage. Okay, so but we are not fixing anything. It's not a fix. Everything is negotiable. But if you try to negotiate, we're going to tell you right now we're not changing. Okay, so section 5, disclosure of buyer's name. Basically, this segment says that the firm has permission to disclose the buyer's name. So you're allowing us permission to disclose your name, so you can not sue us when we mention your name. And let's move on. Section number 6, other potential buyers. The buyer understands that other prospective purchasers, if represented by a firm, may seek property, submit offers, and contact to purchase property through firm, including the same or similar property as the buyer seeks to purchase. So basically, what this particular that sentence is that we represent other buyers, and other buyers might be interested in the same properties that you're interested in, and so I don't know if you can see that, but it says buyer acknowledges. See the acknowledges and understands that and consents to such representation of other prospective purchasers by firm through this agency, through its agents. So basically what that's saying is that you are allowing us to run our business and represent other buyers, even though they may be interested in the properties that you're interested in. Okay, so we have our firm's duties to you, and when you get this in your email, you can go over it more closely, but I'm going to go over what is highlighted for you today in this quick overview. Our duties to you is performing, I don't know if you see that, the terms of this agreement, okay? That's our number one duty to you, is performing the terms of this agreement. And seeking property, number two is seeking property at the price and terms acceptable to the buyer. That's another duty that we have to you. Letter C is presenting in a timely manner all written offers, okay, and counter offers to and from the buyer. And D is disclosing to the buyer all material facts related to the property or concerning the transaction, okay, which firm has actual knowledge. So if we have a knowledge of a leaky roof, then we have to tell you that, so because that affects your buying decision. So that's what you call material fact. E says accounting for in a timely manner all monies and property received in which buyer has or may have interest in. So being careful with money is something that we are obligated to do, and we're good with that. Okay, A is your duties to us, and let's go over that real quickly. Your duty to us is to work exclusively with the firm during the term of this agreement, meaning that you're not going to work with anybody else. You're going to work with us exclusively. Part B is to pay firm directly or indirectly the compensation set forth above, meaning that your duty is to make sure that we get paid, and the seller most times will do that for you, or the builder. Part C is to comply with the reasonable requests of firm to supply all pertinent financial or personal data needed to fulfill the terms of this agreement. So basically what we're saying to you is that your duty to us is just to cooperate. You want to buy a house, and this is what we want to help you do, so cooperate with us. Part D says, be available for reasonable periods of time to examine properties. And Part E says, pay for all products and services required in examination and evaluation of properties. Okay, example surveys, water soil tests, title reports, and property inspections and everything like that. You are responsible for those payments. Those come out of your pocket. Okay, so those are your duties. And number 9, we're going to go over the non-discrimination clause in this contract. And basically it says that the agent and firm shall conduct all brokerage activities in regard to this agreement without respect to the following, which is race, color, religion, sex, national origin, handicap, or familial status of any party or prospective party to the agreement. So guess what? We don't discriminate. We want you to have the same quality of service no matter what your color, what your race, what your sex is, what your familial status is, or if you're handicapped. We want to help everybody. Clause 10 says that other professional advice, and this is what I highlighted for you. Buyer is advised to seek other professional advice in matters of law, taxation, financing, insurance, surveying, um, would destroy insect infestation like termites, structural soundness, engineering, and other matters pertaining to any proposed transaction. Okay. Um, Also, the buyer understands that the firm cannot guarantee, we cannot guarantee the quality of service or the level of expertise of any such provider. Um, the buyer agrees to pay the full amount due for all services directly to the service provider, whether or not the transaction closes. The buyer also agrees to indemnify and hold firm harmless from and against any and all liability, claim, loss, damage, suit, or expense that the firm may incur during um, incur either as a result of the buyer's selection and use of any such provider or buyer's election not to have one or more of such service performed. So basically, I'm reading this from my phone. I'm not even looking at the paper. I'm reading it in my phone as I'm reading it to you. So it's kind of blurry sometimes, but so you just gotta be patient with me. So basically, what that's saying is that we're not held liable for other professional people's advice, whether it be a CPA, whether it be a lawyer, whether it be a lender, whether it be insurance, whether it be termites or infestation or structural soundness or engineering, and whatever else. All we do is help sell and transfer the property from one person or one entity to another. Okay, so and there's some things that that you have to get as well. One of them is the offer and purchase and contract for review purposes. Now that's something that I will send to you in your email as well. And I want you to check that first box right there because I will get it. And if you do not have it, send me an email, let me know. And the other ones right there. And so then at the bottom of the page, of this second page, you would click or sign, and your spouse would sign next to it. Okay. And on to page 3.